Xbox is in a very tight spot. On one hand, they're absolutely cooked by losing the console war. On the other, they're doing very well on their publishing endeavors. Or rather, I mean games they finance, promote and bring to Game Pass and Microsoft Store. So let's discuss it more in details. Is Xbox cooked or not? First of all, about the absolute failure that Xbox had in the console war. If you wanna go in details about that, you can check out this video. The link will be in the comment section and in the description. But here, we'll discuss the strategy of Xbox on how to move on after the defeat they suffered in the console war. The idea was to release a console that would have Steam on it. That way people wouldn't need to buy an expensive PC to play their favorite games. That way Xbox would acquire PlayStation exclusives that were released on Steam and basically have them on Xbox, which was a brilliant plan. But it all again is falling into pieces because first of all, rumors have it that the next Xbox console will cost over $1,000, which eliminates the reason to buy a console in the first place. And second, Valve basically ruined this project by introducing Steam Machine, which is the exact niche that Xbox hoped to cover. Now, how much which console will cost and which will have which store is basically speculations at this point. But regardless, we need to acknowledge a simple fact that the next generation of consoles for Xbox is almost guaranteed to be a failure, especially if it will cost over $1,000 as predicted. Even if it will have a better resolution and will have more frames per second, in the end, for majority of customers, the price is more important than the resolution and FPS. So again, in the end, it doesn't look good for Xbox console. And the feature that was supposed to ensure the success of Xbox is also starting to show some cracks. I'm talking about Game Pass. Yes, Game Pass, a feature that was very promising at the beginning, starts to show some signs of failure right now. Not long ago, Xbox raised the price of Game Pass, and a large amount of gamers were absolutely negative about that. And of course, nobody likes when things get more expensive, but I always thought it was a common knowledge that the low price of Game Pass was just a promotion strategy, not an actual business strategy. I thought that people knew that access to $170 games for $20 is probably unsustainable. And yes, Game Pass will get more expensive in the future, because $30 now is also unsustainable, which means that people will hate it even more, and that means that basically the subscription model for gaming is almost doomed to fail. So the price will go up and the quality of the games may go down, at least in normal circumstances. Because when people don't buy the product directly but buy it in the package, it is hard to track the failure of the particular game, and it is easier to cover the failure of the particular game. Which means less responsibility for the failure, which means worse overall quality of the package. And here I'm not talking specifically about Game Pass, it is the nature of all subscriptions models in general. So in the end, we see the two primary features that Xbox is relying on as the marketing strategy crumble, which puts Xbox in a very tight spot. Now, on the other hand, to counter the negative tendencies of subscription models, Xbox took a drastic turn towards financing games that gamers want to play, towards the quality of the games. Like beforehand, Xbox were financing a lot of games that people generally didn't want to play. Games like Unknown 9, Avowed and other financially unsuccessful games. And now it seems that Xbox is cutting on those types of projects. Just remember how many useless and dead-born games Xbox were financing and promoting just a couple of years ago. We would watch Xbox show on Summer Game Fest and other shows, and half of those games were garbage. And now if we would look at the latest Xbox show, Xbox Partners Preview, almost all presented games were fire. And it is a good thing, and not only because more good games equals good, but because Xbox, it seems, is finally going to stop the rain of free money that they would use to perform for every dead-born game. Now the developers will have to show some results first, which again will improve the quality of the games all across the board. Another major management victory for Xbox recently are major layoffs inside internal Xbox studios. It falls into the same category as the previous example. Games that are not promising are being cut off, and it is a good thing. And if you disagree, then why didn't you buy and play all of those games that were on Xbox Summer Game Fest and other shows in 2022 and 2023? People don't like hearing about layoffs, but at the same time they're refusing to buy games that are being cut off, which is hypocritical. Xbox is optimizing their expenses and you can't blame them. Good game developers though won't be jobless for a long time because new and new game studios appear and new IPs are being created, so the effective game developers will be fine. Now, so in the terms of Xbox as a platform holder, Xbox is actually doing pretty good, and will bring the most of the income to the company in the nearest future. But will those money be enough to sustain all the other failures? It is hard to say. They took a gamble with their new console, and the time for that gamble can't be more inconvenient. They took a major financial hit by buying Activision Blizzard and releasing Call of Duty 7 on Game Pass. And now it seems that they will take a massive hit with their new console too. So will they be able to recover from all of that? I genuinely don't know. Xbox made a lot of major mistakes recently. Up until recently, it seemed that Xbox will most definitely be fine. But the latest console news are really worrisome and it puts Xbox in a very tight spot. Now, to summarize it all, Xbox took a lot of massive hits and is now trying to micromanage the losses and is trying to cut off all the dead weight that was holding them down, which they seem to do pretty successfully. Now they will either come out of this even stronger than before, or will crumble under the weight of their own mistakes. Now, if you're still listening to it, that means you liked it. So show that by leaving a like and subscribe to the channel. I have a lot of cool videos already, so check them out before it's too late. See you there.